welcome back to another one of Rusty's reactions. Today we're going to be reacting on the verdict that Derek Chauvin, the police officer that put his knee on George Floyd's neck and ultimately ended his life. Absolute tragedy. There's no winners in this at all. To society itself, mending race relations, no help. It doesn't help. A lot of people suffer, and it's unfortunate on so many levels. George Floyd's murder trial jury finds former Minneapolis police officer Derek guilty. So the verdict has been brought down. The jury has found him guilty. Guilty of the murder of George Floyd in the case that touched off worldwide protests, violence, and a furious examination of racism. This is all the violence that happened after it, the protests. I don't support any of that. The protest and the activism of people looting and burning things and destroying businesses and communities, and that does not help one little bit. And it was a shame that the media didn't highlight all the looting and the rioting as negative as they could have. They could have hit those people a bit harder with their actions. He was found guilty of second-degree murder, third-degree murder, and manslaughter. I think that came down with around a 40-year sentence, so he'll probably spend the rest of his life in jail. And I think it is justice in a way that he was guilty. The evidence was there. It was pretty obvious to me that the amount of protocol that they've placed on George in that moment of arrest was far beyond what they could have done. There was 3 officers there, 3 or 4 officers there, and they decided to have one officer leaning on his neck. It's wrong on so many levels. And what was he? It says here, Mr. Floyd being arrested on suspicion of passing a counterfeit $20 bill for a pack of cigarettes at a corner market. Suspicion of a $20 counterfeit bill. It makes your mind boggle. Now, was he on any sort of drug influences on the day? Probably. I don't know. It's hard to think of that situation when you're not sort of dabbled in that world. But there was excessive force, I feel. Well, the proof is there, excessive force, because the poor man died. So I think in a way that the family and the supporters of George Floyd would be happy with the verdict, but still no one wins out of this. There's no winners. It's unfortunate that we live in a world, and with me, that I live in a place where guns aren't that accessible. Your neighbours don't have guns. You walk down the street and no one's got a gun, no one's strapped. So to be a police officer in that environment where everyone's got potential to have a gun and they could be targeting you at any time would have to be really difficult. I wouldn't be able to firstly understand the significance of a job that requires that mental ability to be able to trust in the people that are around you, especially when you're arresting someone, or you're in a situation where people and emotions are so high, and they could be they could have a gun on them that potentially you could have seen your last sunrise that in the morning, because you won't end up getting home at night. The mindset of thinking in that way with a job that you're willing to do is, I can't comprehend it. So my hat's off to all the law enforcement out there and all the police officers. They do an amazing job, and we need them. We need law enforcement because chaos would reign. So that's my thoughts on that, guys. I think there's no winners in this at all. There's no winners. I think the people that are George Floyd supporters will be happy with the verdict of Derek being guilty. I think that's going to give them a little bit of satisfaction. And I just hope for one day that this race, that we can look at other people and get over this race issue. I'm better than you. What colour skin you are is better than someone else. It's just ridiculous to me. And the media have got a lot of say in it too, and they are disgraceful on many levels when it comes to conquering and dividing. Well, not conquering, but dividing people up, and just keeping this race hate issue going and simmering along. And unfortunately, I don't see it going away anytime soon, especially with the media, with what they do with sort of situations like this when it comes to white and black, or Asian and black, or Asian and white, and it just never ends, the angles that the media can take it. But it's not going to benefit society and mending these gaps that seem to be opening up every time something like this happens. So it's unfortunate. There's no winners, and I hope and pray for a day when aliens come to Earth, because then with aliens, that everyone on Earth can recognize themselves as being equal as one, living on our home planet as a people. And we can start race-hating aliens, because that's the only way I think that race hate in the world's going to end, is if we have aliens, and then everyone who's racist can focus their energy on alien hate. So that's my take on that. Very unfortunate events. Derek and all the police officers will have to have a think about this and see that their actions are going to be held accountable for. So the training has got to get to another level, and the respect back to the police officers that are on the ground doing the hard yards is, they have to gain our trust, and we have to give them our respect. So that's my reaction to that. If you like this video, please like it, comment down below, what do you think? Please be respectful. I'm just an idiot on YouTube, just starting up a channel, just giving my reactions, so be gentle. And comment down below what reaction should I do next, and maybe that video will be my next one. So everyone, take care, look after your fellow man. Say hello, smile, be happy, and just go out of your way to be respectful to the person next to you. Until the next video, take care, look after yourselves, bye.